tell you a little something that I haven't really talked to anyone about besides the Eternal King of Soy himself. You see, I was once in regular contact with Bassifuk for a couple of months. When was this? 1986? 1987? Basically, he came out of nowhere and started asking people about computers. I, being myself, have pretty much been around computers all my life. Even when I was small, my dad took me to his workplace every week to show me the workings of their mainframe. I got to play a Star Trek game on it, I think. It was at Atlantis, New Jersey University, which had a very early Unix installation. So you can see I had plenty of experience already, and I gladly shared my knowledge with Bassifuk, because this stuff should be free. You know, if you're charging for knowledge, you're a fucking asshole. So we even worked together to get pretty far in Police Quest on a Compact Desk Pro. It seemed like he was a pretty genuine, down-to-earth guy despite him looking and sounding all creepy, but perhaps I should have taken my prejudices to heart, because once he told me he would get a computer for himself, that was the last I heard of him until he started posting gratuitously violent threats on our BBS. Why was I holding this back from everyone? Well, I felt so ashamed that I gave him a hand in this, and wasn't really active in the tribute to the Eternal King of Soy for years as a result. It wasn't until around 1992 that I started coming back around, floating the idea of a videos news outlet in the hopes of aggressively pushing back against my mistakes. Everyone scoffed at me, accusing me of being a newbie despite me being around from the very beginning, or at least as far as the most modern organization dates back to. To tell them about my experience with Bassifuk right there and then would have been suicide for my idea. Eventually, I took it upon myself to drag an entire whale into prison to interrogate her on the layout of the heart of the operations of the maroon whales. Surprisingly, she was very cooperative, and, well, I told the BBS she was executed, but I couldn't help but let her go. I think it better reflects the Eternal King of Soy's mercy. That seemed to be enough to make them slowly regain respect for me, and eventually the show would be greenlit for development on March 2nd, 1994. A part of me still believes there's another side to Bassifuk that truly wants the right thing, but is horribly misguided by the maroon whales he's influenced by. As I grow older, this battle grows more stale. I want it all to end at some point. The maroon whales are malevolent, but they don't have to be. I've never killed a single cetacean. Maybe I have facilitated the deaths of whales, but I kept telling myself maybe that's what it was supposed to take to get it across to the maroon whales that their needless authoritarian grip on the ocean needs to come to a halt. I thought fear was the driving factor in getting everyone to see the truth, but maybe that is not the case. I'm just really worried about you, Bassifuk. You've been running with this for far too long. You just fucked up the entire world. And yet I'm here wanting to give you this channel of redemption. Will you become the soy whale?
That's it for this week's political news. Glory to the Eternal King of Soy. Stop watching anime.
Maybe I'll need to get this microphone real close to me. And I've got a script right here that I can just read off of, because, of course, these are pre-recorded. I've never been one for doing live works. So, I apologize if this is feeling like it's really dragged out. But, this is just how I prefer to do things. So, let's get started. 240p Politics recording session in 3, 2, 1.
This week in political news, the Soy Health Bureau has advised that you eat your soy soup from sandwich bags until Death Ibex is sent back to hell. Cups and bowls providing more open space for permitting the entry of Death Ibex into your